Start. Okay. I just wanted to finish off the Ashora of Dorish Mason. We pointed out in the Rambam, just to go over, that the lav is to in Pirush Mishnayis, it's Dorish Hasidus, and in Mishnah Torah, it's to ask the mace to tell you something. But to ask the mace to do something for you, we have no clue whatsoever that the we have no clue whatsoever whether the that there's any Isa involved according to the Rambam. It is true that the Maril seems to say there's a problem. It doesn't say it's a problem with Dorish or Mason. The Chayyim learns that there is a problem, but from the Rambam, I'm not sure that you can make a great case for it. Now, let's just go over here. He says, V'yachshvu shemi sheyaseh kach, v'yilbsh kach, yovo elov ameis. We point out that this is a dimion according to the Rambam, and according to others, it's kishuv and a Mitzvas. And v'yachshvu shemi he's asking him something and he's giving him an answer, whether he's talking about the future or he's talking about to tell him something that he knew, whatever it is, but it's a question and answer. It's not a request. And this is clear over here, and he says that it's only a dimi kamo shiachshavu ashehem mesim beemes v'afal pi shehem oichlim v'margishim v'yachshavu shemi sheyaseh kach. It's only a dimion. V'yilbsh kach yovo elov ames v'shena v'yomer loy mashishim v'menu. It's only a dimion. And the Rambam Pirush Mishnah also said it's only a dimion. In Masechah Sanhedrin, Perek Zayin Mishnah Zayin, V'al Yisarvani Ya'al Yisbabe L'cho B'derish Al HaMesim L'fi Shederish Al HaMesim Einu Oise Shum Ma'aser Elohu Min Mimine HaZoyos. It's HaZoyos the dimion. V'hu Shemis'ane V'lom Beis HaKforos V'loichesh L'choshim V'roye B'shnosoi Hasidus L'fi Dimyoinom. Foolish that it's a dimion. It's also interesting that there's L'choshim in Dorish Al HaMesim, the Ram Pirush Mishnayis. It's not only in Choy V'Chove, and it's okay. But the Rashi Sanhedrin is mefurish that it's Kishuv, and the Ramban, and it's clear that this is a Metzias. Rashi Sanhedrin shetisho ruach tuma shade shel beis hakforos yehei oavoy Messiah b'kshofo. It's Kishuv and it's Shaden, and the Mashmos Ramban that it's B'chal Kishuv. v'hiskim machashiv shem klal l'chol ha'machashivim ha'kshofim v'choy v'chol v'shol v'vidonim v'im plotim b'kishuv v'yosu oisam gam l'shoyel v'dorsh ha'lameisim kli v'atzmoi u'b'chol inyan she'idrosh aleim. So I think that the mashmos Ramban is that it's kishuv. I can't say 100%. And kishuv is not a dimion according to the Ramban, because the Ramban says in the volume Yudches, Posik Tes, v'zeh sodak shofim b'koichom she'omu behem she'im machishim pamal yishamayla. So somehow they're doing something. Now, the interesting thing comes over here is that there's a Gemara in Sanhedrin that asks an interesting kasha, strange question, I think, and gives an answer. We don't even looking at the Gemara, you don't know it's an answer. The Gemara goes like this. Shoyel oiv hainu derish elamesa. It's the hainu hach. So we don't know what the problem is. Hainu hach is. It's a one lav, a two lav, is it a separate lav? Why? We don't know what the Gemara is asking exactly. And then the Gemara Kilu answers Derish Lamesim Kidisanya. So looking at the Gemara, you think the Gemara is just telling what Derish Lamesim is. But Derish Lamesim Kidisanya, Derish Lamesim Zel Mariv Atzmo V'hoilich V'lon Bebeis Akvorois Kidei Shetisho Lov Ruach Tum. The Rambam in Pirush Mishnayis explains the question of the Gemara and the answer. The Rambam Perek Zayin Mishnah Zayin Sanhedrin v'yesh bo min acher v'hu shelochim v'ulgoyles roish odom shekva nisachel me'aleho aboso u'matzniim oisom u'maktirun lo. He's talking about another case of oiv v'hoizim boy bo v'shoim imenu dvorim kederch sheshoim min hameis b'ma'aseh bal oiv. So the Rambam Pirush Mishnayis is very clear that a oiv is a question to the mace. Kederch sheshoim min hameis v'shoim mimeno dvorim kederch sheshoim min hameis b'maaseh oiv. So both derish al hamesim, you hear things from the mace. But the question is, what's the Gemara's answer when it says he's lomba beis hakforos, and that's the difference. Shit, when the Gemara says kedisanya derish al hamesim kedisanya the derish el hamesim ze amar b'atzmo v'hoich lomba beis hakforos l'tisha lavuach. So the Rambam Pirush Mishnayis says the following: V'al yisarvev l'cho b'derish el hamesim. It means you shouldn't confuse oiv with derish el hamesim. L'fi shederish el hamesim eino oiseh shum ma'aseh klal. He's shev al taseh. He falls asleep in the Beis HaKvoros, and the apparition is Memela. Elohu mimini azoyos. I guess that's some type of delusion or whatever, that he sees something. V'hu shemisana v'lo beis hakvos v'loichesh lo choshim v'roye b'shnosoi Asidis lefi dimyoinam. And l'chor, what he's doing is paraphrasing, and that's chat in the Gemara. But l'chor, Baal Oiv is yesh boy maaseh, because this one is ein boy maaseh. Ubal Oiv ha'omo b'mikra naaseh b'asiyas maaseh. And does he mean that it's not a dimion? We said, what? You see, the problem is that he stresses when he's talking about Dorish Alamesim that it's dimion. And l'chayra, he's trying to contrast it to Dorish Alamesim. On the other hand, the Ram is mafurish in Pirush Mishnayos, and he says, "V'chol ma shetire bi'omrom medaber v'shomeya be'inyan zeh," which is referring to Ma'aser Oiv, "einu ela shmiya shom machmas hafolas hadimion bekach." So it's also dimion. When a person is isolated, or he hears sounds, or he's he's in solitary confinement, he hears sounds and things which have no relation to reality. And even if he didn't have this sentence, we know very clearly, according to the Rambam, that everything is dimion, even kishuv. So why does the Rambam go out of his way, to say this is dimion, that's a dimion? That's nothing to do with the answer. The answer is that it's the one is a ma'aser, the one is not a ma'aser. He also talks and says that the Dorish Alamesim is asidus. Does he mean that the Oiv is not asidus? He doesn't say that. He doesn't finish that. Or maybe the Baal Oiv is not the Dorish Mesim is only Agelas Asidus, and the Ma'aser Oiv is not only Agelas Asidus but other things also. It's unclear what the answer is, but he seems to say that the Gemara says lumber basic forest, he's not doing a Ma'aser. So that is where the Ram interprets the Gemara. I like just to point out two other Rishonim, what they conclude from this Gemara, Dorish Alamesim, and the comparison of Dorish Alamesim and Ma'aser Oiv. The Smag concludes from this that the Ma'aser Oiv is a peculiar case of Dorish Alamesim. And the Ma'aser Oiv, the Gemara talks about, it's not clear we're showing him what's Ma'aser Oiv in the Smag. It's very clear we're talking about Shoyel Oiv. Everything more asks the kasha. And if a Shoyel Oiv is basically chayiv two malchus, one malchus for Shoyel Oiv, and one malchus for Dorish Alamesim. You look in the Smag, in Lamin, in Lavin, Simen Nun Vav, so Dorish Alamesim, Shene'emar lo yimse b'cho v'goyme v'Dorish Alamesim, וזה המריב עצמוי והוילך בלום בייס הקבורס כדי שיובו אליו המייס וחלוים ויודיעו דובו שהוא צורך לשואל, that he tells him something that he wants to know, ונראה לי שבעל אויב נמי אויבה עליו זה shedorish el hamesim. So it means that there's something peculiar. There's a general thing of Dorish HaMesim, and in Shoyel Oiv, there's a very peculiar Dorish HaMesim. And I guess he'd be chayiv to Malchies. The Ramban concludes from this Gemara that Dorish, the Baal Oiv, is a peculiar case of Dorish HaMesim, and in this peculiar case, there's a Chiv Skila. The Dorish HaMesim Ko'oiv Atzmoi Ubechol Inyan She'idush Aleim. And what is Mikoiv Atzmoi? That our Oiv is also Dorish HaMesim, but the Oiv is Chayiv Misa. Chayiv Skila. But then I'm just very confused. The Shoyel Oiv and the Dorish HaMesim, what's the difference? Unless also it's the same as the smog. I'm not sure what's added over here. Now, what I would like to point out, and I think, you see, we just said before that according to the Ram Pirush Mishnayis, the answer, the Gemara of Lomba Beis HaKfaros, is the difference between that and Sha'oiv is that the Lomba Beis HaKfaros, he doesn't do a Maisa. And that is very hard to say. Because you can't say that the Derish is El HaMesim has no Maisa, because the Ram says over here, Ugmor Sanhedrin Derish HaMesim Amariv Atzmo v'holech v'lom Beis HaKfaros kidei shetishu olav ruach tumo v'oiv alav zeh chayiv malchus. And throughout Sefer Mitzvas is pretty clear that you get malchus where there's a Maisa. And if you say that Lomba Beis HaKfaros is not a Maisa, so why do you get malchus? So in Oiv, there is a Maisa, and the Maisa continues until the Oiv answers. Look at the Rambam in Hilchos Avodah Zarah, Perek Vav Halacha Aleph. Ketzad hu Maisa Oiv, Zeh shu oimed umaktik teres yedua, v'oiches shalvit shel hodas biyodai umeinifoy v'umedaber bolot b'dvorim yeduim etzlom ad sheyishma shoyel ki'ilu echol medaber imoy umeshivoy. See, he is continuing talking and continuing to be maftir, continuing doing a ma'aser. Oiches b'shalvit biyodai umeinifoy v'umedaber bolot b'dvorim yeduim etzlom. So when he's constantly shaking the shalvit, and he's being mocked to teres. Dorish HaMesim, the etzem ma'is havera is a sheve al taseh. because he's being dorish al mason when he's sleeping. Sleeping the basic kvaros. And that's the Ram says in the Miyan HaKotzer. He says in Lois Selamet Ches, this lav, Shelo lisho b'chaloim min hamesim, shenema v'dorish al mesim. So the shaila is b'chaloim. So the shaila is b'chaloim. It means he's not conscious. Well, not conscious, not conscious, but it's not a Maisa in any way that we understand it. The Maisa is prior to the Avera. The Avera is the Shaila B'Chaloim, and that's what the Lav is, the Ram says. Sholisho B'Chaloim, Min HaMesim. However, when it comes to Oiv, the Maisa is B'Shas the Avera. So it comes at a big chiddush then. So the chiddush is when you say a lav sheish boy maisa or maisa, which is machayiv malchus, a priori, I would have said the maisa has to be the maisa avera. But a maisa which enables the maisa avera is part of the seder of doing the maisa avera, but it's not the maisa avera at all. I would have said is not machayiv malchus. And the Ram is saying just the opposite. Since by going to sleep and going to the Beis HaKvaros and Lomba Beis HaKvaros, which the hechsher for the avera, since it's done on a day maisa, I'm chayiv malchus. Even the etzem maisa avera is not through a maisa. When the Gemara is machalik between oiv and dorish al mesim, the Gemara is machalik that the etzem maisa avera is chol. That the maisa avera of dorish al mesim is shevi al taseh, and the maisa avera of oiv is kum vasei. However, for malchus, even if the etzem maisa avera is b'shevi al taseh, but since in the process of the hechsher of doing the avera, going to the Beis HaKvaros, and being lying there, there's a maisa, so that's enough for chiv malchus. That's a mamish, an amazing chiddush. Well, that's what's happening over here. Okay, that takes care of dorish al mesim. HaMitzvos hatesha ushloishim. He shizhilnu gam kein mehemshech achachukes hakefrim. Or that's Ibn Tibin. Kapach is mileches biikves hakefrim. So l'cheira, the pshat is that this is also b'chlal chukas hagoyim, because he's using the lashon that he writes in the lav chukas hagoyim. She's handling meleches b'darkei hakefrim, b'ikvas hakefrim, b'chukei hakefrim. And therefore, the Rambam puts the dinim of ילבש or ילבש in the halachas of chukas hagoyim. However, you might not get malchus for chukas hagoyim, because after the Torah is mafarit the separate lav, you're not. It's not necessarily chukas hagoyim, but conceptually it's chukas hagoyim. Now here, I just like to say something. Yeah. See, here's interesting. In Ibn Tibin, he writes, "Shetiyeno hanoshim loivshois big day hanoshim v'tiskashten v'tiskashet no v'tachshiteim." Okay. So the shitiyeno is very interesting verb. It's an intransitive verb, and he puts together with loivshois. Okay. In Kapach, he says, "Bima shanoshim loivshois big day agvorim v'oideis a dayein." We'll see about that. See, I'll tell you what the interesting thing over here is, because the lav, if you look at it, v'hu amrei yis'aleh lo yeh kli gever al isha. And if you recall, we pointed out in the lav of Tmura, excuse me, in the Asay of Tmura, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Pei Zayin. Shavinu shetehei hatmua kodesh. So if you recall, the Rambam used the word in Arabic of bikon. And that's to be in a status of that the Tmura should have a status of Kedusha. So a priori, you could have imagined that the lav of big day or noshim, if noshim wear masculine begodim, it's also that kilu it's a status or something. But the chayra, even though in Ibn Tibin it's there, but the bikon is not here in Rambam, and in Kapach is not there at all. And even though the lav Rambam seems to be resisting this, I'm not getting involved in this, but I'm not sure if the Nitziv was aware of the Rambam sheet in Chumash, but he somehow puts the element of status in this lav, which I think is very interesting. But the Ram is clearly resisting, and there's no bikon over here. The Arabic word of status is not there, and shetiyena is not in kapach. It's b'ma shehanoshim loivshis big day hoanoshim v'tizkashtena to be betachshiteim. V'amo yis'ale lo yeh kli gever al isha. So here, now, by us in Ibn Tibin, he writes, Loivshis big de anoshim v'tishkashteno v'tishkashteno v'tachshiteim. In Rambam, excuse me, in Kapach, it says v'oides eduyehem. And that l'cheira is a reflection of the Pirush Mishnayis and of the Minyan HaKotzet. Basically, see of Mishnah Torah and the Minyan HaKotzet. If you look over here, Lamites Shaloi Ta'adeh Isha Adei Ish, and Mem Shelo Yadeh Ha'ish Adei Ish. It's Adei is like some type of adornment. But as we'll see, and we'll talk about this, Mitzvah Hashem, but just to be aware of it, you see, the lashon of the pasuk is different by Ish and Isha. By Isha, it uses it in transitive verb, and it's talking about a keli. Lo yiyeh kli gever al Isha. By an Ish, it's a transitive verb. Lo yilbash gever simlas Isha. And it's a simla. It's a beged. And we don't know what the kli is. You get the impression, we'll see, that there might have been those who are machalik between the lavim, but the Ram's going out of his way to equate the two. And both in the Minyan HaKotzer and over here, it's basically he's saying over the same thing, and he's defining both of them, as we'll see, the same. And you see also in Mishnah Torah proper, Loi Perik Yud Beis Halacha Yud, Loi Sadei Isha Adei Ish, V'chulei, V'lo Yadei Ish Adei Isha, V'chulei. So you get the impression that the Ram is going out of his way, that even though the psukim and the type of verb and the keli which we're enjoined from seems to be slightly different, but the Ram is going out of his way to equate the two lavim. In fact, we'll see as we go on, I hope we'll get to it, I soon get to it, that the Rambam, after he finishes the 40th lav, the lav on Gvorim, on men, he has a discussion of both lavim afterwards, because it's really the same. It's just the question of which way you flip it. Now, again, kapach, what is adei, is really trying to use the Rambam's language in the Minyan HaKotzer and in Mishnah Torah. He calls it adornment adei, but for both of them. Now, v'kol isha tishkashet bi'adei bi'echo mitachshite or anoshim, and l'chor it's referring to the begodim also, or in kapach in ta'adeh me'adei, and that according to the Rambam, certainly the adei, as you see in Mishnah Torah, we'll see that it certainly refers to begodim also, is that's the Isa. Now, the important thing is the continuation, what he says. We don't know what this includes. A priori, from looking at this, it's just a question of begodim that you wear or other adornments. However, the Rambam in Mishnah Torah says it includes more than that. Lo sadeh ish adeh ish, lon shetosim b'roishem mitznefes, that's clothes, or kova, I guess a male hat or a mitznefes, whatever. Oh, shetilbash shilyon is armor, ukiyetze boy. Oh, shetegaleach loisho kiish, or should take a man's haircut. And this, both the shilyon, the armor, and the haircut go into adi. It's an adornment. Loisade ish adeo ish colon kagon, and one of the kagon is the galik loisha, and wear the armor. V'loyade ish ade isha gon yilbsh begodim tzvuyim v'chol zov, and it's talking about, I guess, a necklace or something like that, or whatever, and the begodim sivonim, and the colored clothes. But the Rambam is very clear about this, and we'll see about it both here and in Mishnah Torah. And he says like this: "V'chol isha shetiskashet bi'ech mitachshite ha'anoshim ha'gvorim ha'mefusomim ba'esahi." And other gisos bi'ir hahi or bi'esei mokim. We're talking about a clear place, okay? And it's known, Mufusamim, and it's clear, Bleisahi or Mokomahi, Shezehu Tachshit Miyuchad La'anoshim. It's something that only men wear, then Yechai Malchus. But it depends upon the place and the time. And if the place and the time women also wear it, then the whole thing is out. And that the Rambam says in Mishnah Torah also. Going to Yilbash begodim sivonim, v'choli zov, v'mokim she'ein loivshin oisan hakelim, v'ein mesimin oisai hacholi el noshim hakol kamining hamadina. It's something which is peculiarly limited to men or peculiarly limited to women. A priori, but I can't say I'm sure about it. One would assume that it depends upon the meaning of Medina, what the mode of dress is in that place. I don't know if it should be limited to Jews. One would have to know. You have to understand that Simla at the time of the Torah was both for Ish and an Isha. Salmos Re'eu. Salmos Re'echo. But that the lapses will Yilbash Simlas Isha. Because it's a Simlas Ish and a Simlas Isha. Okay. And that's the Rambam in Hilchos Avodas. That's what we just read. Ve'emisim noisa acholi el noshim akol kamining Medina. B'chulei. We don't understand in Rambam what he adds over here, Mufusamim. L'cheira miyuchadim is enough, and that's the issue. What's Mufusamim? The Rambam Mishnah Torah doesn't quote Mufusam. But the Rambam here in Sefer HaMitzvos quotes it both in Lamed Tes and in Mem. Mufusam. V'mokom ahu. Shu tachshim yuchel enoshim. Now here becomes the until this point, it's it is what it is. It's just a question of defining the terms. But now it becomes very interesting. V'da shezeis hapu'ulo kloimer heyois or hanoshim miskashtois betachshite hanoshim. Oh, for Anoshim, Tachshite Anoshim, this idea of men wearing women's clothes, or women wearing men's clothes, or men Tachshitim, or adornments, or whatever it is, Pa'omim. So here is an amazing thing. All of a sudden, it a priori looks like the Rambam is becoming like a Morin Levuch. V'da shezeis hapu'ulo kloima hanoshim miskashtes betachshite hanoshim o hanoshim betachshite hanoshim pomim teoseh li'oire hateva lizimo. So it's v'znus. Kamo shehu mufusam eitzel hazeinin. Or the other is eitzel hamon. That's kapach. Or amim. Eitzel amim. Upomim, so it's either znus. Upomim yeoseh leminim me'avodas avodazor. Or it's avodazor. Kamo shehu mavur b'seforim hamechuborim lezeh. So it's either for znus or for avodazor. But what the heck? What difference does it make? Why is the Ram telling us this? And the truth is, it is a Mor in the Vuchim. And that's the way it should be. The Ram Mor in the Vuchim, Chele Gimel Perek Lamed Zayin, writes like this: V'nei bi'alnu b'chibureinu agodo, sha'kofos pas roish, uvpas zokon, also b'nei shu tikun koimrei avodah zarah, v'chule. I'll just read it to get the flow, and I'm skipping. I'm really interested in this. V'hu asiba gam kain v'omroi lo yeh kli gever al isha timseeu b'sefer tumtum yitzave ילבש או איש בגד אישה צבוע כשיעמוד בכוכב נוגה in Venus. ותלבש או אישה הסיריון הוא כלי המלחמה ששווה armor, and כלי מלחמה בעומדו למאדים, when it's the time of Mars. ובוי גם כן אצלי סיבה אחרת, ושזה הפועל מאור התאווה ומביא למינזנוס. So again, it's the same thing. The order switched around, but it's not much the same thing. And more in the Vuchim is much more it's graphic, but here he says, but here he's also graphic to some extent. והרבה מה שיושם בתנאי ועשייס קסס התלסם, let's explain what that is, ויומם הויה מסעסק באודום ילבש בגדי נושים ויסקשת בזוב ופנינים ודוים עליהם והויס אישו תלבש הסיריון וסדזדיין בחרובס. So it's mamish the same thing as I mentioned, Venus and Mars here. וזה מפורסם יויד עצר בעלי Adas Azay, so Boahin Azay. Okay, say that. So the question is, why is the Rambam discussing it over here? And I want to show you how serious he is. If you open up here to the Minyan HaKotzer, Mem Shelo Yade Hoish Ade Isha Shenemar Lo Yilbash Geve Simlas Isha Mipnei Shezeh Hoye Minig Oiv De Avodah Zarah V'chein Mefurish V'Sifrei Avodah. So he even puts it in Minyan HaKotzer. It's an amazing thing. So I think what the Rambam is motivated by is because without this, you don't understand Pshat and Posuk. Because the Posuk says, Lo yiech li geva al isha, v'lo yilbash geve simas isha, ki so'avas Hashem Elokecha kol ois eila. What's the toeva over here? So he's saying the toeva over here, that it's either maybe there's nus or maybe they avodah zarah. Okay, so now the next step. So the Rambam says everywhere that this what he has in mind, excuse me, the reason why the Torah says it's to'eba is because there's an Indian here of znus and avodah zarah. So the question is, how does this play itself out, or does it play itself out? Do you need that the kavanas halavisha is l'shem zima or l'shem avodah zarah? The Rambam here and the Mishnah Torah say that he needs kavanah l'shem avodah zarah, kavanah l'shem zima, or does maintain. There might be one Tana we see in the Sifri, the Nozir, on Nuntes, that Rabbi Eliezer ben Yankiv, Kedei L'Sheves Ben Anoshim or Anoshim. Maybe he says like that, but the Ram doesn't quote that. Or even if you don't need Kavona L'Shem Avodah Zarah or L'Shem Zima, do you need Kavona that I want to look like a woman or a woman wants to look like a man? Because maybe that's the Yisod, that it's Miveidle's Nus or Avodah Zarah is to change to the gender identity. So, see, if you say that this is the Taichim, what the Levish has to be, because it has to be Toeva, Lizdamois. In other words, maybe you don't need Machshava Avodah Zarah of his Nus, but you have to have Kavonah to Lizdamois. Let's say there's a raincoat, which happens to be for women, but it's raining. You're not interested in Mizdamas to anyone. There's no other raincoat in the house. You take it out. Is that a problem? So interesting is in Shulchan Aruch, in Orach Chaim, Tov Reish Tzadi Vov, Sif Ches, the dinim from Purim, is a Ramah. ומה שנוגו ילבש פצופים בפורים, וגבר לא יבש שמלת אישה, ואישה כלי גבר, אין איסה בדבר, מאחר שאין מכוונן אלא לשמחה בעלמא. וכן בלבישת כליים דרבנן, ויש אומרים דעשה, אבל המנהג כסבר ראשון. And the Goin says that the reason for the oisrim is because they compare it to Klayim. And by Klayim, it's an Isa Levisha. And the Ram Shita is that Levisha doesn't require Kavona. If you put on the beged, even if you have no Kavona, the heter of lack of Kavona by Klayim is only by Halah. But in Levisha, the Ram doesn't have a heter. Look at the Rambam in Perek Yud, Halacha Yud Ches by Levisha, and Halacha Tezayin, Yud Zayin by Allah. So the Goin says, I thought you all you need is Levisha. And this is a Levisha without any Kavona. And the Kilu, the Rambam, see, he seems to say once you take that position, climb, you have to take the position like that in Lo Yilbash. But not 100% clear to me, because it could be there's another layer over here that you need Kavona Lizdamois. It's not a Poshet Levisha. Otherwise, there couldn't be an Indian there couldn't be an Indian of Toeva, of Zima and Avodah Zarah. Now, what I want to point out is even though you could have said this, I would have assumed that it's not the Rambam is, as the Goin says, that all you need is a Pasha Levisha. And how do I know that? And I guess there's an interesting case. The question is, what is tumtum? By Beged Ish and Beged Ish. Tumtum, he has no idea, or she has no idea. She doesn't know if it's a zocha over the keva. There's no clue. So the Ram says, and the way the Chinuch interprets the Rambam, that he's potter mima, the Chinuch is in Tov Kuf Mem Gimel, that he's potter from Malchus misofik. He says, Ram per Yud Beis. Here it is. Here it is. Tumtum v'androgenis eno oitev ki isha. He doesn't wear or cover his head like a woman. V'lo megaleach loishe ki ish. V'im asa kain eno like it. So what he has to find is like unisex clothes, and he can't do anything either one. And here, l'chera to double portion, he has no kavod of his damas. He just wants to wear clothes. And the Ram says that he's not loika because of Malchus. Excuse me, because of Suffolk. So the Minchas Chinuch says an amazing thing. The Efsha in Minchas Chinuch in Tov Kuf Mem Gimel. The Efsha, the Tumtum Shebesim Bachutz, Barachnu Leel Im Kain Hu Zocha Vade Zocha V'Loikin Im Oda Adei Isha. Ach, Lefi Atam De Zimo Lo Shaykh the Einoi Roy Lebia. Ach, Im Noima Mishum Lesed Avodah Zorah. So, and then he says, maybe no. We've been atam sheniu lonu einonu yechol lifsek din the efshik zers akosu. But he's ready to say that a person that's not loyal to bia, if the tam is zima, he wouldn't be chayiv. That's mamish a chiddush nifla. What I'd like to do just for a second is, on the other hand, to read a Rash, the Rash in Bikurim in Perek Daled Mishnah Beis, on the Tumtum Veino Oitev Veino Netaf Umesape Kanoshim Kloima Eino Netaf Kanoshim Umesape Kanoshim V'kolom Lefisha Tam Echol Lishneim the Derech Isha Latov Es Loish Lechasais Mitzoyev Ve'ein Ish Kein Derech Ish Lesaper Ve'ein Derech Ish Kein Derech ish l'saper v'ein derech isha l'saper el megadelis loishet kvolius u'be'in she'inoig ba'atzmoi b'tisporus malbushim ke'ein ish so yoveli nose im yisnayeg ki isha. Someone won't marry him. And we're more afraid that someone will marry him instead of him marrying somebody else. But we don't understand that. I could talk about this with the chef next time. What does all this mean? What do you need this time for? And what's the heter? Maybe according to the Rash, there is an issue of kavanah. That l'chor polkas you have to talk about mizdamos. And therefore we just decided we want to do this, not that. Maybe that's not the lav. This needs a lot of work. Mitzvah will pick up next week. Hatzlocha.